这个故事如果你听起来不累，那么你的听力水平在生活中是完全够用的。要持续提升英文，记得点击订阅按钮。我们开始吧。
England, the year 1642. The country was split in two. One side stood with the king. The other stood with Parliament. Towns picked sides. Families picked sides. Even friends stopped speaking. In the middle of the country sat a quiet town called Coventry. Stone walls circled the town. Narrow streets wound between dark wooden houses. Bells rang from tall church towers. From far away, it looked peaceful. But the people inside were not calm. They had chosen their side, and they chose it with iron hearts. One cold morning, a small group of soldiers rode toward the town gate. Their horses were tired. Their coats were dusty from long travel. The men wore the colors of the king. Royal soldiers. The gate opened slowly. Guards stood on both sides. The soldiers were not welcomed as guests. They were prisoners. Their leader was a young officer named Thomas. His boots hit the ground as he climbed down from his horse. He looked around the street. People were there. Bakers, workers, women with baskets, boys carrying wood. Yet something felt strange. No one spoke. Not one voice. Thomas nodded to a man standing near a bread shop. The man turned his head away. A woman walked past him. Her eyes moved across his coat, his sword, his face. Then she kept walking like he was nothing but air. The soldiers were taken to a large stone building where they would stay under guard. It was not a dark dungeon. They could walk the streets during the day. That sounded almost kind. It was not. Thomas stepped up the next morning and greeted a group of men fixing a cartwheel. "Good morning." No answer. He tried again. "Cold day." The men kept working. One hammered a nail. Another turned the wheel. Not a word. Thomas walked to the market. A woman sold apples from a wooden table. "I would like 2 apples," he said. She looked straight through him and spoke to the person behind him. "Next." The man behind Thomas stepped forward and bought fruit. Thomas stood there with coins in his hand. No one told him to leave. No one pushed him away. They simply acted like he was not there. Days passed. The royal soldiers could walk through Coventry, but the town had built a wall stronger than stone. Silence. When they entered a shop, people turned their backs. When they spoke, no one replied. If they sat near a fire in a public house, the room slowly emptied. One night Thomas slammed his fist on a wooden table. "I would rather they shout at us," he said to another soldier named William. At least then we would be men in their eyes. William gave a tired laugh. Here we are ghosts. That was the plan. The town leaders had made a simple rule. No one would talk to the king's soldiers. No trade. No greetings. No anger. Nothing. Just quiet. At first the soldiers laughed about it. A week later the laughter died. Humans are not built for silence like this. One afternoon Thomas saw a small boy chasing a rolling hoop along the street. The hoop bounced and hit Thomas's boot. Thomas picked it up and smiled. Here you go. The boy reached for it. Then his mother ran forward, grabbed the child's arm, and pulled him away without a word. The hoop fell again and rolled across the street. Thomas stood there holding empty air. Another week passed. The soldiers spoke less and less. Their voices felt heavy in the quiet town. Some began staying inside the stone house for whole days. One man tried shouting in the middle of the market. Say something. His voice echoed between the houses. People walked around him like water around a rock. No anger. No fear. Just empty space. That hurt more than chains. Months later, a traveler arrived from another town. He sat in a busy tavern and heard the strange story. So the people just ignore them? He asked. A local man nodded. We send them to Coventry. The traveler frowned. What does that mean? The man lifted his cup. It means they are alive, but no one speaks to them. No one sees them. They are outside the circle. The phrase spread from town to town. Send someone to Coventry. The words carried the cold weight of that silence. Years passed. The war ended. The soldiers left. But the phrase stayed. It traveled through books, through streets, through quiet jokes between friends. When a group decides to shut someone out, people still say it. Send them to Coventry. No prison walls. No iron chains. Just the oldest fear in the human heart. Being ignored. Think about a moment in your own life. A room where people stopped talking when you walked in. A message that never got a reply. A table where everyone laughed except you. That small sting in the chest. Now you know why those words were born. Because long ago in a stone town in England, silence became a weapon, and a few soldiers learned how loud silence can be.
能以非母语者的身份专注学习到现在，这本身就是很棒的进步。真诚感谢你的观看。如果你觉得本期内容实用，点赞或留言让我知道你的想法，这对我持续创作非常重要。我们下期见。